Welcome to week 3. Let's take a look at what you have going on for this week. And so week 3, we are dealing with logical reasoning this week. And so kind of a good topic, continuing on with a little bit of our quantitative reasoning process. And so this logical reasoning, you'll deal with these propositions and conditional statements and logical fallacies. And I think overall it's not too bad. There is one area I found a lot of students stumble a little bit, and that's dealing with these conditional statements and trying to decide when they're true and when they're false. It can be a little tricky, so I wanted to go into this a little bit more for you guys. So I have conditional statement, and so conditional statement is just a proposition with this if-then format. So my statement is that if it's raining outside, then I will bring an umbrella. And so key to this are these two different parts. So we have the if part, and that is our assumption, and then we have the then part, that's our conclusion. And so with this, in order for this to even be considered false, the assumption has to actually be true. So that seems a little weird, but as we're looking at this, our assumption is that it's raining outside. Okay, that's the if part of our statement. And so if it's not raining outside, meaning that assumption is false, and so in this case, right, that's the statement here, it's not raining outside, then I have to just assume my whole statement is true because I don't have actual proof that it's not, is kind of the idea, right? If this assumption is false, then we're kind of acting on, well, you know, it's not raining. I can't really tell whether this is true or false yet. I don't have any proof that it's not true. And so we're going to act on, okay, in this case, these are true, whatever the rest of this statement says. And so in one case, I'm saying it's not raining outside and I did not bring an umbrella. Fair. The other one says it's not raining outside, but I brought an umbrella anyway, you know, just in case, might need one. That could happen. But in either case, we're saying this conditional statement is true, and that's because my assumption was false. It wasn't raining outside. And so these will not make my assumption false because I don't really have any proof that it is false. This one up here will also be true. In this case, my assumption is true, right? It is raining outside. And my conclusion is true. I did bring an umbrella. In this one, my assumption is true, but my conclusion part was not true. It was raining outside, but I didn't bring my umbrella. And so this is the only one that actually makes this false. And so that's what you have to look for. And so I'll see this, it'll come up on tests and in your homework. And so what you need to look for when it says which of these statements makes this false, look for the one where the assumption is true, but the conclusion part is false. I didn't bring my umbrella, and so that makes it false. Hopefully that'll help with that bit for you. It'll explain it more in the textbook, and there is a video lesson with this one, so let's go back to this. And so that will help as well. Make sure you watch the video lesson as well as reading the textbook. I recommend doing both before taking the reading quiz. Though the reading quiz is supposed to be specifically on the reading, I think. You do have 2 Mobius homework assignments this week, so make sure you get both of those. And so one is due on Thursday, and then you'll see there's a second one down here that's due on Saturday, so get both of those in. You also have your first group assignment together this week, and so I'm going to pull that up for you guys, and your group assignments will be similar to the sandwich problem you saw, only now you should be working on these as a group. And so that means that you should, as a group, each of you will individually fill out an Excel file and do a quiz, but you should be working as a group doing the Excel file and working at the same time on the quiz when you submit it. And so that's what should be happening with this. And so this has a link for your spreadsheet. I'll bring that up here. Here's the spreadsheet that you'll be working on for this week in your group. And so our scenario this week, we have Rick who wants to marry Ariana, and so he's looking to buy a ring for her, and he has $1,150 saved, but he's willing to borrow if he finds a ring that's more expensive that he thinks she'll like, right? And so walking kind of through this decision process for Rick as he's trying to pick out this ring. Make sure you go through all the steps together in your group. When you get to identifying variables, keep in mind that variables are things that vary, right? If we look at the root of that word. So that means his amount that he has saved, that's not a variable, that's a constant. It's not going to change. He only has $1,150 saved. That's not a variable, okay? That's not changing at all. Things that it will be variables would be the price of the ring, right? We don't know yet what that will be. If he borrows money, then the interest rate of the loan or things like this, those are things that can vary. Assumptions then are things we're going to assume will stay true, right? We're kind of assuming Ariana's going to say yes, or assuming his parents don't step in and say, oh, let us help you buy a ring, or right? Things like this would be our assumptions. Then it'll walk you through, here's some different ring choices, different prices. You're gonna help him, but then, oh, he just gets talked into this expensive ring by the salesperson, and then looking at the logical fallacy with this decision that he made, and just evaluating his reasoning. And so that's going to be your group project for this week. And so make sure you do the Excel assignment and the quiz. You'll notice your main points on this really come from the quiz part of that. And so the quiz usually has questions that come directly from answers you got and put into the Excel file. And so when I do the grading, just so you know, mostly this Excel file, I'm going to look, was it complete? And usually if it's complete, you'll get those 3 points. And then the quiz will let you know whether you did things correct or not. You'll see that there is an answer key to this that will be available after the due date, so that if you do want to go back and check, oh, we missed a few questions, what did we do wrong, you can go in and check those things there. But like I say, the main feedback you'll get from this will be from the quiz, letting you know if you did things right or wrong, and then the Excel file will be more just, did you complete it or not? All right, we have one more discussion this week. This will be the last discussion that we do, this one on scriptural conditional statements. And so you're kind of divided into just 5 random groups for this discussion. It just makes it a little smaller discussion rather than a whole class discussion. But what you want to do is look in the scriptures and find a conditional statement. And don't use the scriptures that were found in the example in the textbook, but find that, and then you want to explain what you learned from considering that logical structure in the statement, and make sure your post is 6 to 8 sentences at least. And then you do need to reply to 2 of your classmates. Don't forget to do that. And so your main post is due on Thursday, but those replies you'll have until Saturday to get those in, but don't forget to do them. All right, I think that's about everything we've covered this week. So please let me know if you have questions. You can leave those in the comments on this announcement or send me an email. use that contact a tutor button if you need extra help with any of the math stuff, but make sure you get the help if you need it. And good luck with your homework this week.